Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and just like all of you, I cannot wait for the brand new LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight game. Well, I am currently here at New York Comic Con right now, and I got a chance to actually play the game at this convention myself. I was so excited to actually test out the gameplay and demo it, so join me in New York as we try out the brand new LEGO Batman game, and let me know in the comments, are you going to be getting this game? Are you excited to play it? And what are your early thoughts on the gameplay? Thanks so much, and let's dock in right now. So I'm playing the brand new Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight game right now, and it is so much fun.
Do you guys want to go now? I mean, are we just going? No, do you guys want to go?
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Wow. That is...
Whoa! This is crazy. Look at the graphics on this. You can see the rain like dripping down his cowl. Now this footage here was actually taken over at LEGO headquarters in Billund, Denmark, last month when they revealed all of the brand new LEGO Batman sets for next year as well as this game. Oh my gosh, the traversal is so cool. I only had a couple of minutes to play the game then, and I was really happy to be able to play it for a much longer time at New York Comic Con, although I had 10 minutes in New York and it literally felt like it was just a minute of playing. The game was so much fun, there was so much stuff to do that it felt so dynamic and time completely flew by. Most of my 2 minutes here were spent learning the controls. I just want to like jump around the whole game. In Denmark, we got to try a piece of a mission where you had to kind of go and complete an objective, but since I only had a couple of minutes, I spent most of it just roaming around. Oh,
That's so cool.
It was so striking just how much fun the driving was, especially compared to other LEGO games. And of course, the model of the Batmobile here is pretty close if not one-to-one with the actual LEGO set coming out in March of next year, which I just unveiled. Look at the driving in this game. Now this game was developed by the team that did the Skywalker Saga and built in a very similar engine, and while I did like the game enough for what it was, I honestly felt like one of my biggest complaints about the Skywalker Saga was that every character kind of felt the same, and story missions just weren't as involved puzzle-wise compared to a lot of other LEGO games in the past. But thankfully, it looks like they were able to iterate on a lot of feedback from that game, giving you not just a dynamic world, but very in-depth missions as well, which I'm so excited for. Incredible. You want to give it a shot?
You know it.
But now let's teleport on over to New York, where I got a chance to play the game and also take home some pretty cool exclusives for doing so. Alright, I'm at New York Comic Con right now, and we are playing the new LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight game. Now, I already got to play this a little bit in Billund, Denmark, but now we are docked in for the full demo. Let's go. So as we jumped into the game here, you can see I could choose my combat difficulty level, which is something new they're implementing for this game to scale the level of difficulty depending on how you want to play the game. Almost similar to in the Arkham games, the way that combat and traversal works, which clearly LEGO took a ton of inspiration from. Now we don't know exactly when Legacy of the Dark Knight will release, but we do know the LEGO sets will come out in March, so I'm assuming that because the LEGO sets have codes to unlock the vehicles in-game, the game probably has to come out before then, and this is all speculation, but it would be crazy if this dropped in February because honestly, that's not that far away. Now, the game itself is inspired by the 86-year history of Batman films, TV shows, comics, and games, while of course mixing it in with the LEGO style. And the story they're telling is blending in different iconic elements of a ton of different Batman media, but mostly the films, and then retelling it in their own version of the story, which I think is a really interesting way to do the story. As opposed to other LEGO Batman or DC games in the past which have focused on original stories being told by LEGO, usually created by TT Games, this one is drawing a lot of direct inspiration from the movies that have come out over the past few years, but blending them all together into a main storyline. So you're Bruce Wayne training with the League of Shadows, and then building your Bat family of allies with Jim Gordon, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman, and Talia al Ghul. So you can see a little bit here of the gameplay of of the actual thing itself, and obviously traversal is so much fun. I just performed a jump boost there, which basically allows me to glide around the entire city in a prolonged method for as much as I want, and you can just see how massive the map is. For this demo, there was no mission objective, there wasn't really any sort of level to complete. The entire goal was just to explore around and get into fights and beat up criminals and try out the combat system, and I had an absolute blast doing so. Unfortunately, because the audio was in my headphones, there was no way to share the audio of the demo I was playing with all of you, but you can get a sense of what it was supposed to look like with the subtitles on as well. Obviously, there's a mix of combat included in the game itself, and I find it really cool how it actually really kept you on your feet. You had to continuously dodge bullet blasts from the goons with guns, you had to try out different moves. Sometimes some of the villains with shields were harder to attack full on, so you had to do a special attack or try to attack them from the back, and by far the combat was the most interesting compared to really any other LEGO game. Honestly, the only other LEGO game made by TT Games that I can think of that came even close to this level of combat was actually the Ninjago movie video game, which had a lot of different skill trees for you to tier up the way that you wanted to do battles, but even then, it was very rudimentary compared to this, and I find it so interesting just how you're able to try out so many different combat moves. Honestly, I was still trying to figure out a lot of the controls during this. I figured out halfway through how to throw batarangs, and that was super satisfying, and yes, you can use that in a fight as well, and of course down to the bottom you can even choose what type of weapon or accessory you're using, and you can see duck bricks was discovered right there as well. So I feel like I have to build that myself. That was very funny to actually see the duck, because of course that is something that's been hidden by the penguin. Now, one of the most impressive things to me about the design of the game was how they rendered the rain falling down my character. Usually in LEGO games, when you have scenes in the rain, you kind of have it as an overlay around the screen. It doesn't really feel that dynamic, but here you can literally see the raindrops falling, trickling down the cape, and of course, impacting the vehicles, the environment, and everything, which is so impressive to me how they were able to make that work. Of course, a big part of the game is being able to summon vehicles as well, and yes, you do have the option to summon a vast variety of vehicles as Batman and his allies, and of course, more and more will be revealed closer to the game coming out. It was also very striking to me seeing the lighting of this game. I feel like it is one of the best looking LEGO games yet, with all the neon lights reflecting on the shiny pavement with the rain kind of covering everything. It was genuinely very impressive to see how it was done, and of course, using your grappling hook to fly all around the city was so satisfying. I honestly feel like it would be perfect for LEGO to make a Spider-Man game using this basic mechanic, with instead of the grappling hook, you could be firing webs. I feel like that would be super cool for LEGO to do. And another really cool thing is that unlike most of the LEGO games that have come out for the open world, most of the buildings you can actually go into and explore. Like you can see I just walked through a diner there, and they fully built out what the diner is supposed to look like, which I just thought was so impressive. Now, you can see a couple of the different moves here. I was trying to show off the different animations for the attacks and dodges, and it is really cool just seeing how much effort went into crafting everything here. There is a map which you can explore, and of course this map for the demo is just a very small sliver of the entire map you get, and you can even choose your different outfits for the batsuits you wish to unlock. And we do know from some of the LEGO sets you can unlock different types of batsuits. I went for the classic comics one there that appeared in the CMF, which was really cool, and of course Jim Gordon has his own outfits as well, which is super cool. So obviously, lots and lots of different batsuits, different outfits. I think they might have said there's over 100 different customizable suits, which is pretty crazy to see because I'm very curious just how many they are going to use, and you can even choose the different vehicles you are using as well. Now, the very interesting thing that I find about this game is that it feels very unlike any other LEGO game that I've really experienced at all in the past. The Skywalker Saga was a very big departure from the standard LEGO game formula, and that, for better or for worse, was incredibly unique as a product. I definitely missed the more heavy focus on puzzle solving that the older LEGO games had, as opposed to the Skywalker Saga, which was more about kind of watching like LEGO animated cutscenes of movies and then running from point point A to point B, I definitely feel like it would have been much more interesting should they have incorporated more puzzles into the gameplay, but thankfully for this game it feels like they have learned from those mistakes and you actually have some pretty intricate built out levels from what I experienced by playing a little bit in Billund off camera, that you actually were able to interact, solve puzzles, and have a bit more of an in-depth story that you were pursuing, which I obviously really liked. Here you can see I was just trying to figure out how to summon my vehicle. It wasn't super obvious how to do that, so I was kind of pressing different buttons on the controller to figure that out, but obviously this was the demo, and when you're actually playing it in-game, it would be very easy to just summon your vehicle, because you can summon it at any time you want. I just didn't really know what button to hit. I think you have to press and hold down one of the controller buttons, but still it was very, very cool just to kind of figure out the gameplay. And again, the gameplay is so different from any other LEGO game that I just wasn't used to trying to figure out a lot of how it was done. I also love how even in the demo, there were clearly different puzzles to interact with scattered around the city. There were piles of bricks to be built, there were things to battle, there were puzzles and objectives to unlock, and that is the case for pretty much every LEGO open world, but it really did feel like something was going on in every alley of Gotham, which was really funny because I guess in the actual Gotham, in the comics and movies, you've always got some sort of trouble brewing around every single corner, so it was cool to just explore, roam around, and just find all sorts of different things to do here. And as my 10-minute demo began to wrap up, I just realized that there were so many things that I was having so much fun doing in the game, it literally felt like just a couple of minutes had flown by. I could not believe that it had been a full 10 minutes by the time they told me time was up, because it felt like I had only been playing for so short of a time, and I am very, very concerned about how much time I'm going to totally sink into this game when it eventually comes out, because that is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, this obviously has been designed with the level of detail that you would want to expect out of really any LEGO game. There's attack chains, counters, multiple different takedowns, and you can use different bat gadgets and kind of load them up over the course of the game for each of the different characters to play with unique fighting styles. So obviously Batman, he has his batarangs to distract or stun enemies, and he can use the bat claw to reel them in, but then Jim Gordon has a foam sprayer, Robin has a line launcher, and Catwoman has a whip, so each and every one of the characters has their own unique accessory, which you can use in a range of different combat scenarios. And of course you can see there I selected a different vehicle than the standard Batman Batmobile. This one is the Tumbler from the Dark Knight, and it is based off of the set that came out at the beginning of this year. It looks really, really good. It is so much fun to play as the Tumbler here, and I think that honestly this will probably be one of my main Batman vehicles. I'm also really looking forward to playing as the BVS one, and honestly I just feel like over the course of the game, collecting the different vehicles will be one of the most fun things to do, because they are just so much fun to drive around and play as, and you just bulldoze through every single LEGO obstacle in your path. It was just so satisfying to see. But that wasn't all. You see, this was all part of the main DC booth, so in addition to all the LEGO stuff, there was a ton of interesting DC items to see and do as well, but in order to play the game, I actually got the chance to take home a few interesting exclusives. They were only giving out right when the game was being played, and in order to get them, you had to line up for 30 minutes to play the game for 10 minutes, and then you would get the chance to take home some of the exclusives. A couple of which, in which case there are some trading cards, were only previously given away during the reveal of this game in Germany at Gamescom, so it was very cool to pick those up. So I'm here at New York Comic Con at the LEGO Batman Experience. They have a gigantic Pattinson right there. I know quite a few people will be wanting to take that home.
Me.
You know what I mean? Many superheroes
I'm the
today.
one, I want it.
Yeah. Big Batmobile, we just played the game and we got an exclusive swag bag with some very interesting items in here. First off, we have a couple of posters for Legacy of the Dark Knight and advertising the brand new Batmobiles, which are also on display here. I just put out a video hands-on with these sets, so very cool to see that. Ooh, and on the back, you can see a look at the vehicles in-game and the golden versions of the Batmobiles as well. But that's not all, because also inside here is a mysterious trading card. Now, I have been told there were only around 1,000 of these made, and out of those 1,000, 60 of them are golden. These, to our knowledge, were only given away at Gamescom in Germany and now here at New York Comic Con. And you know how we do things here on the Duckbricks channel. We open up everything. So let's go ahead and see what's inside this pack. I'm a little bit scared to destroy the packaging here, by opening it, but we're gonna be super, super careful. Oh, something different. That is the Batmobile tumbler. Very, very cool to see that. It says Lego Batman on the back. Now, many superheroes today, I know you received 2 cards and both of them are identical. You want to do a trade?
I might think about that. We'll see. We'll see. This one looks pretty gold by comparison.
This looks really cool.
It does look pretty gold.
Many superheroes today does want to have the complete superheroes collection.
That's
or as
true.
complete as possible. So a brand new card that he doesn't own is being offered to him, and he has 2 of this card. So
It's something to think about.
it's something to think about for sure. But very cool to be here at New York Comic Con, exploring around. You just saw some footage of me playing the game, and let me know in the comments, are you looking forward to playing the game yourself? I know I certainly cannot wait to get it. And thanks for watching. Let's dock out.